One day, when you are looking at your database, you see that 500 connections are open. This is the problem. Yes, that's a problem because if you start debugging, you will see that the most of the connections are idle. That is the big problem because the idle process is not just idle. It's just idle for your QE, but not for your database. It is eating your resources. So you need to clean it up. Or you have to fix that problem. Stay with me. In a few minutes, I will let you know how to fix that problem and without disturbing your database. Let's start by just looking at what's actually happening before we change anything. So I run a little count on pg_stat_activity, grouped by state, and yeah, you can pretty much see the whole story right there. About 470 of them are idle. Only 28 or so are actually doing any work. 500 in total. So almost all of it, really, is just sitting there idle. Now, this is the part that's really easy to forget. Every single one of those connections, even the idle ones, is a real process running on the machine. It's not a lightweight little socket, it's a whole process. So if I count them up, 500, and then sort of add up the memory they're each holding, it comes to almost 5 gigabytes. And that's before a single query has even run. And then on top of that, you've got 500 processes all sharing 16 cores, so the scheduler ends up just thrashing, really, trying to keep everyone moving. And, I mean, this is what it actually feels like when it goes wrong. It's usually the middle of the night, the app's just scaled up, and you're sitting there tailing the log, and you start seeing it. Too many clients already. Out of memory. Maybe some client that opened a transaction and then just wandered off, still holding the lock. And you check pg_stat_activity, and there's 500 connections, and again, most of them aren't doing anything. So that's the moment the pager goes off. So the obvious thing to try, and honestly I think we've all done this at least once, is you just raise max_connections. Push it up to 1,000, restart, and for a second it feels like you fixed it. But what actually happens is, now you've got twice as many processes on the same memory, and it falls over even sooner. You start getting out-of-memory errors. So you haven't really added any capacity, you've just, sort of, given yourself twice as many processes to look after. The real fix here is a pooler. So something like PgBouncer just sits quietly in front of Postgres. All of your clients, all 500 of them, connect to the pooler instead, and it keeps a small handful of real connections open to the database, and it just hands them around as people need them. So you've got 500 coming in the front, and maybe 32 going out the back. Same amount of work, much smaller footprint. And the setting that really controls all of this is default_pool_size. So even when you've got 500 clients all hitting it at once, Postgres, in this example anyway, only ever sees about 32 backends. Which is, what, roughly 6%. The clients just quietly share those connections between them, and if anyone has to wait, it's usually only a millisecond or two, but Postgres itself just stays nice and calm through all of it. The config, honestly, is smaller than most people expect. You point the databases section at your actual Postgres, and then there are really just a few settings that matter. Pool_mode, set to transaction, that's the important one. Max_client_con, set fairly high. And default_pool_size? I'd start somewhere around 2 to 4 times your core count, and then actually measure it, rather than just picking a number and hoping it's right. And then you run it, and this is the step people always seem to skip, you actually prove it worked. So you restart Bouncer, you point the app at the pooler's port instead of the databases, and then you just ask it. Show pools. And there it is, right in front of you. 500 clients connected, only 28 on the server side, and nothing sitting in the queue. So, yeah, that's it quietly doing its job. Just a quick word on the modes, because this is the bit that tends to catch people out. Session mode holds onto a connection for the client's whole session, so, honestly, it barely pools at all. Transaction mode, that's really the sweet spot for a web app. It borrows a connection just for the length of a transaction and then gives it straight back. And then statement mode is more aggressive again, but it's a bit niche. So for a normal web app, you'll almost always want transaction. So anytime you want to actually see what's going on under the hood, you just ask the pooler directly. Show pools. And you look at CL_active, which is your connected clients, 500 of them. But then SC_active, the real backends, that's only 28. And CL_waiting is 0, which is really the reassuring part. It means nobody's stuck waiting in a queue. So that's what a healthy pool actually looks like. And really, that's the whole payoff. Same 500 clients, exactly the same load. Before, we had 500 backends, around 5 gigs of memory just sitting there idle, and those too many clients errors popping up. And after 32 backends, the memory's back, the errors are gone. Same machine, the whole time. You've just, sort of, stopped wasting it. There is one catch, though, and it's genuinely worth knowing going in. In transaction mode, each statement can end up on a different backend connection. So any session-level state, a session-scoped prepared statement, an advisory lock, it's just not something you can rely on from one statement to the next. So the way around it is either to keep that state inside a single transaction, or, for those particular paths, put them on session mode instead. So, the usual traps, just briefly. Raising max_connections instead of putting a pooler in, that's the big one to avoid. Using session mode for a web app, when transaction is really what you want. Sizing the pool way too big, sort of just to be safe, instead of sizing it and then measuring. And then forgetting that your application pool, multiplied by the number of instances, can quietly add up to more than the server pool. So it's really worth counting that one end to end. And when something does feel off, the trick is really just, don't guess, ask the pooler. So, show pools, and if CL_waiting is slowly creeping up, that's telling you the pool's too small. Show clients and show servers will show you who's actually stuck. And if you're seeing prepared statement errors, well, the older versions of PgBouncer just don't hold on to them, though the newer ones can, with a setting. But most of what you need is right there in the admin console. So if we put the whole thing together, start to finish, you count your idle connections first, just to see the problem for yourself. You put PgBouncer in front, in transaction mode. You size the pool to your cores. You point the application at the pooler. And then, finally, you verify, and CL_waiting should just be sitting there at 0. And that, really, is the whole fix. So, 500 clients, 32 backends. That, in a nutshell, is connection pooling. No new hardware, nothing dramatic, you've just, sort of, let the database breathe again. If you found this one useful, it would genuinely help if you subscribed. The next one's on auto vacuum and bloat, and, honestly, it's a good one. So, I'll see you in that one.